Now I know the state of high street shopping in general in 2025 is totally different to how it was 20 years ago, even 15 years ago. But one thing that really makes me sad is the state of video game availability within your high street in the UK. Now we've got CEX, and yeah, I'm not even going to talk about CEX that much in this video. They've got their plus points, they've got their minus points, but I am quite happy with them in general. I'm glad they're around. This video is to talk about Game. Game is a company that pretty much thought they had the gaming scene in the UK wrapped up, mismanaged its business so badly to the point that now they are stuck in the small part of a corner that makes its money selling Lonsdale. But how did we get here? So Game originally in the UK, I believe they brought out Electronic Boutique and then used all of the stores that they had alongside what they also had to create the franchise that we all know and don't love, that is called Game. Now at one point Game was a really good shop. It wasn't the best. I always had a soft spot for its competitor, who we'll get onto later on in the video, but for the most part they had what you wanted. They had brand new games, they had second-hand games, they had consoles, they had old consoles. It was what you wanted from a game shop. They sold the majority of games. It was a bit grimy, it was a bit dark in there, but you know what? I kind of liked that. It felt like a proper game shop, not just a flashy marketing exercise like Game become, with bright lights in there, salespeople walking around asking, "Are you okay, sir?" and not actually knowing about the products anyway. Now, from my recollection, Game Station, the employees there, they were quite passionate about gaming. Now, that's not to say that some weren't in game, but the majority seemed to be treating it as a bit of a part-time job. Now, the worst thing happened. In 2006, only one shop could survive. Now, unfortunately for us, that was Game. They purchased Game Station and actually shut down the entire Better franchise and kept with their own one, Game. Now, understandably so, it's what they created, it's what they believed in. They probably thought, we've just beaten the competition. It was WWE versus WCW again, minus elbows and pole drivers. Now the only thing in the UK you can get that's a Game Station is this piece of crap. Now, however, the move didn't quite work out for Game, and they made a ton of terrible financial decisions over the next few years after buying their main competitor. Due to such bad mismanagement, that guy you saw there swooped in. Enter Mike Ashley. Now, Mike Ashley, love or hate him, you've got to give him some credit. The guy is a billionaire and he has made his money. He's a self-made man, so we can't hate on him for that. But Mike Ashley is most famous for being the purchaser of one Newcastle United Football Club. Now, he is not a very popular man in the Northeast. You cannot be a rich man like Mr. Ashley, buy a football club the size of Newcastle and not spend your money. That's not how it works. Now, the people that support Newcastle, despite them probably thinking their club is a little bit bigger than it actually is, but most football fans are guilty of this. They're passionate supporters. They hated the whole Mike Ashley regime. And I can totally see why. The guy had money and he kept bringing in people that just really weren't suited to the club. Who remembers when he brought in Dennis Wise and Joe Kinnear to the club just because he knew them and they were cronies of his, not because they were right for the actual club? This tells you all you need to know about Mike Ashley. So Mike is now having a bit of bother. He's not popular with these guys. So what is he going to do? Right. In Mike's eyes, I'm going to spend even less money and just wait for someone to buy the club. But how do you sell an asset that's not actually performing? That's not Mike's problem. Mike will get there in the end. It's how he's made his money anyway. He was certainly in no rush to invest. He was happy to wait to sell until the right person came along that would line his pockets. There's a theme to this you'll see down the line. Now, the once proud St James's Park Stadium as well, I've been there, it's a great place. Mike decided to use his own company, Sports Direct, and basically rename the stadium. That went down like a lead balloon, let me tell you. Alas, it didn't last too long. It was only until he got a new sponsorship and we once got the proud Newcastle United St James's Park back once again. Mike has now, with his Frasers Group, purchased Game. So will this be a new start for the franchise, the struggling franchise? No. There it is, in the corner of a Sports Direct. Now, Mike knows what he's doing here. I'm not a businessman. He is making money somehow. But I tell you what, if you go to a Game now, it's just full of tat. That is what they should call the franchise now. Tat. There's video games, yeah, but a lot of the time when you pick up some of the games and go to ask at the counter, they'll say, sorry, it's display only. We don't actually have it in stock. Now, with this in mind, I'm going to take a tour of my local Sports Direct / Game and tell you exactly what I mean. Let's have a look inside. Now, one of the problems you've got with the majority of Sports Direct / Game is that you'll probably never find it unless you actually look hard enough. Up here, you've got to go up the stairs and then you'll go into USC, which is another franchise of Ashley's that is crammed in to the same shop. So you've got Lonsdale downstairs and then you've got Dolce & Gabbana upstairs. How does that work? And then just a little bit further on up here, you should have games. Oh no. You've got cooking appliances, grills, plug extensions, air fryers, and slow cookers. Mike is trying to sell us everything under one roof. Is that air fresheners? Alright, so over in the corner we find some toys which most people now associate Game with rather than games. Now, I thought this was a random bottle of Prime, but no, it's slime. Of course, you've got plushies in here. Whilst not a terrible thing, I understand the need for such thing in game shops, but Game at this stage probably take it a little bit too far. Now, the Power Idols is a pretty cool idea, but I wouldn't pay the price that people are asking for them. And I mean, look, it's just piles and piles of stuff here that no one really wants. I guarantee you, if I come back to this same branch in 6 months' time, unless they have rearranged everything, this stuff will still be there. Now, okay, I'm probably going to hold back on that last quote. Some of this stuff might not be there. It's Christmas and people might pick up the odd board game or two for the family occasion. I get that. Now look at the state of this doll. She looks like she's just come out of Bagley's and she's had a night on the packet. I like her. Now, should a game promoting alcohol like Snakes and Bladdered be next to a doll and then Mario toys? Something quite questionable about that whole scenario. Now, £22, this says 50% off. That was never £44. And this thing was around about £10 itself in Aldi's of all places around about a year ago. This is one of the problems with Game. To make an impact in a market they're really struggling at, they should be selling stuff cheap and attracting people through their doors. Instead, they've got one of the biggest games of the year stuck in a corner behind t-shirts. Make it make sense, please. Now, admittedly, we've seen a couple of nice Lego bits here. This one especially, and the Optimus Prime that you see just beforehand. But you know what? They've been in this branch for a long time. No one's bought them. Even Kirby is bored of being in this shop. He's had enough. Get me out of here. So we've got more toys, and so far we've only seen one video game, and that video game was stuck in a corner behind t-shirts. Lego is a big thing in here, and I don't know how well it sells in here, but there is a huge section. Now, I remember the Mario Lego being a real big deal when it released, and it released a hell of a lot of extensions and accessory type play kits for it, but I see it everywhere now, discounted. I don't think it took off in the way that Lego and maybe Nintendo anticipated. Oh look, it's video games. And alas, we have got to them at long last. We have found some video games, and the first thing up is the Nintendo Switch 2 section. Now, I can't be too harsh on them for having a small section on the Switch 2. There's not a great deal out for it. Now, there's a lot of Switch games here as well, but I tell you now, lots and lots of them are overpriced, and I guarantee you, every time I've come in here to ask for a certain Switch game, they will tell me it's not in stock. And that really puts me off. There's so many times that I think to myself, I wouldn't mind picking this game up. But not only have you got to potentially wait for someone for a long time, just due to the way the whole staff is structured now, you're potentially going to get told, case only. Now, you've seen the majority of stuff so far in this shop. It's all tap. There's a few video games of accessories as well. Now, Game did used to be pretty good with their accessories, and to be honest with you, that's probably one of their strong points when it comes to video game related items in this day and age. Lots of these control pads are overpriced, but this wireless Zelda one is really nice, and at £23 I was quite tempted to pick this one up today. But then I thought, why am I going to give my money to these guys? Now, as you walk past the Switch games, look, more tap, and this time it's clearance related items. What on earth is this? A doctor's toy set. This is the sort of thing you would pick up in Poundland. A staple toy of your childhood if you grew up in the 80s. Spirograph, pretty cool. And then you go along to Pickleball. What on earth is Pickleball Blast? Lots of overpriced headsets here that you can get probably around about £10 cheaper in Smith's, which is just down the road. And lots of stuff here for your gaming laptop, your PC gaming. I don't know the quality of these, so I'm not going to comment too much. But I guarantee you, minus the Amiga mouse, which is randomly placed there, you'll get the majority of that stuff on AliExpress for a lot cheaper with the same outcome. Now, headsets are popular, so I understand having a variety of these things around. The Sonic one, pretty cool for the kids at $12.99. I don't know what the quality is like, but I'm going to take a very good guess and tell you it's not very good. I don't even know what that was. Again, I'm of the firm belief there's possibly more accessories in this shop than there is video games. Now, to their credit in this shop, there's quite a selection of PlayStation 5 games. But whilst I was browsing around, the majority of them were either full retail price or a little bit more expensive than shops locally to me, such as Smith's, such as CEX. And like I said earlier, a shop that is struggling to reinvent itself like Game should be enticing people into the shop by selling products that much cheaper so that they will get people through the doors, gamers through the doors once again. Now this is a game I do want to pick up and it's full retail price. That's pretty much the price everywhere, but I have seen it around about 49 to 55. So again, game is more expensive than the competitors locally. In the words of Castillo, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. Now we've got the new 007 game here for pre-order, but who on earth pre-orders from game these days, especially after the Silent Hill 2 fiasco with the steelbook that came damaged or didn't come at all to many people that pre-ordered it. Look at this stuff, it's all just useless. And why not have a big Play-Doh set next to your Xbox games? It makes sense, doesn't it? Only in game. Now over on the dead box section, which is pretty similar to the PlayStation 5 section if I'm totally honest, you can buy an Xbox hat. Now one thing they are good for in game is these Lego sleeves. It seems that they were originally purchased and made for game, as every game you go, that I've been to, always has them in stock. So if you're collecting that subset, game is probably a pretty decent place to try and complete your collection. Now with a lot of the recent decisions that Microsoft have been making with Xbox, game and Xbox kind of seem like a couple that are meant to be. They're just making ridiculous decisions and I don't want anything to do with either of them, so I'm out of here. So for me, game is on life support and I don't know how it's survived all this time. It has gone through trials and tribulations ever since it was hemorrhaging money. And this was after it purchased its main competitor in GameStation. So many wrong decisions that led it to being a financially unstable company, which has now led Mr. Ashley to swoop in and just pretty much sell as much tat as possible. Now don't get me wrong, Game was selling a lot of tat beforehand and trying everything they could to try and turn the balance sheets around. But since it's gone into the Fraser Group, it's just gone into overdrive. Now I would love to be able to sit down with Mike Ashley and someone in the Fraser Group and ask them, what is your end game, excuse the pun, for game? Because it looks to me like they're just stripping at the assets and it's about time that this company was laid to rest. It's like the TNA of gaming, it just will not die. It's still here despite not being something that anyone wants. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's my current take of Game in the UK. It's a wretched company, it's a wretched shop, and it is a wretched situation. It didn't have to be this way either. There was a point where they were the market leader and they could have gone on to great things, but so many mistakes was made and they ended up where they are, which is in the back of your local Sports Direct, if you're lucky. So let me know in the comments below guys, do you still shop at Game? I personally don't, and I don't know many people, if any, that actually do. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the situation with it. Do you prefer GameStation and do you wish they were still around? Anyway guys, as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care for now.